The thing that I liked most about Michael Jordan as a player was the fact that I didn't have to try to guard him. If you had a poor defensive scheme, he was going to fill the hoop up until you either figured it out or the game was over and you lost the game. Some of his acrobatic drives to the hoop are just remarkable. You know, he could get past the defense and use a little bit of English off of the glass. The ball drops in so nice. It takes some really advanced skills to do that consistently. The 1988 All-Star Game was a showcase for Michael. Michael had figured out all the things he needed to know to be a dominant player. Everything. One-on-one, couldn't guard him. What Michael Jordan showed the whole sports world was the fact that you put the right people with him, he's going to lead them to world championships, without question. He was a prime example of excellence and a leader that would lead you all the way to the top, all the way to the top. That was basketball at its finest.
The L weaving its way through these quiet winter streets as all the action is inside the raucous Chicago Stadium. Now let's go over to tonight's public address announcer, Tommy Edwards.
Welcome, fans, to the All-Star Game. Get up and get loud for your West All-Stars. At forward, making his 7th All-Star appearance, the standout veteran of the Denver Nuggets, 6'7", Alex English. Making his All-Star debut, the front court star of the Utah Jazz, the mailman, 6'9", Karl Malone. The man in the middle, an All-Star, each of his 4 pro seasons from the Houston Rockets, 7 feet, Akeem Olajuwon. At guard, making his first All-Star appearance, the versatile star of the Denver Nuggets, 6'3", Lafayette Fat Lever. And the NBA leader in assists in his 8th All-Star game from the Los Angeles Lakers, 6'9", Irvin Magic Johnson. The head coach of the West All-Stars is Brad Nelson. Let's hear it for your West All-Stars. And now, the starting lineup for the Eastern Conference. At forward, a 3-time most valuable player, an All-Star each of his 9 seasons from the Boston Celtics, 6'9", Larry Bird. He's one of the NBA's most exciting players in his 3rd All-Star game from the Atlanta Hawks, 6'8", Dominique Wilkins. The man in the middle, an All-Star for the 10th time, one of the game's most rugged rebounders from the Washington Bullets, 6'10", Moses Malone. At guard, the most valuable player of the 1984 and 1986 All-Star Games. This Chicagoan is making his 7th All-Star appearance from the Detroit Pistons, 6'1", Isaiah Thomas. And finally, the NBA leader in scoring and steals, an All-Star each of his 4 seasons, the charismatic star of the Chicago Bulls, 6'6", Michael Jordan. The head coach of the East All-Stars is Mike Fratello.
Greetings, everyone, from Chicago, the host of the 1988 All-Star Game. Alongside the terrific Clark Kellogg and our reporter David Aldridge on the sidelines, I'm Kevin Harlan. And Clark, this terrific city has produced some greats, and 4 of them playing tonight.
You're exactly right, Kevin. The Windy City, Chicago, has produced Mo Cheeks, Isaiah Thomas, Doc Rivers, and Mark Aguirre, all All-Stars, and I'm sure they've got plenty of family and friends in attendance to enjoy their performance on the court.
Yep, so much to celebrate. And Clark, is there a common thread when you think about a Chicago-type player?
Well, I certainly do believe there's a common thread. When playing outside or outdoors in the Windy City, the perimeter shot can easily get blown off course. So you got to be able to get that thing to the rack and in a straight line fashion. And that's something all Chicago players share in common.
A lot of high flyers, you're right. And your West All-Stars, Fat Lever and Magic Johnson, the guards, Alex English and Karl Malone at the forward spots, and in the middle, Hakeem Olajuwon. For the East, it's Moses Malone inside, and Dominic Wilkins with Larry Bird the forwards. And in the backcourt, Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan.
And you look at Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, rivals since college. Early on, no love lost between them, but over time, they've become friends.
Basket good. And tonight's All-Star MVP will have a $5,000 check presented in their name, Clark, to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund.
A great cause in honor of a terrific American.
Malone trying to break free. A nice shot by Bird. Bird's got 5 now. Clark, you see Larry and Magic together in those Converse ads. They've become really the faces of the NBA.
And Kevin, I think they've inherited the mantle from the great Dr. J. He's done such a great job representing the league all these years, and certainly he's left it in good hands with those two.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
And you know, before every game, Karl Malone calls his mother back in Summerfield, Louisiana, to ask what numbers he should shoot for. Tonight, she said go for 25 and 11.
And Michael Jordan winning the dunk contest yesterday, Clark. Can he add to his trophy case tonight?
Kevin, I think his teammates want to see him win the MVP. I think they're going to give him as many touches as he needs to have a chance to do it.
Ooh, that'll be fun to watch. And plenty of subplots to this game. For more, let's send it over to David Aldridge. DA, take it away.
Thanks very much. Now, this story has never gone away over the years, guys. Isaiah Thomas is, of course, a native Chicagoan, but you'll still hear some boos today from Bulls fans. That's because at that All-Star game a couple of years ago, people questioned whether Isaiah froze out Michael Jordan. And some people still believe it. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, that story has not gone away. Thank you, David. For what it's worth, Clark, Isaiah Thomas denies there was a freeze-out, and Jordan himself says, I never said it, so what do you think?
But the reality is, we probably never will know the full story.
And the Eastern All-Stars favored to win tonight.
Star power and firepower. Veteran IQ and smarts, but you never know. The West has quite a bit of talent, too.
Indeed, they do. Clark, amidst this All-Star celebration, labor negotiations between the players and the NBA continue.
Trying to find their way through this current impasse, Kevin, and looking to avoid any interruptions to this game that we all have a love affair with.
Yeah, I know you and I hope they can find some common ground.
Please make it happen soon.
Here's Jordan, following the score by Hakeem Olajuwon. Jordan with the ball, picked up by Malone. Clock at 6. Malone, the pass to Bird. Fires, high post. The East All-Stars check on 2 more.
Larry Bird had it going last night at the Legends game, trying to fill it up tonight as well.
There's got to be some excitement, maybe even, Clark, some butterflies playing in the All-Star game. You want to prove you belong out there.
I agree with that, and there can also be the temptation to try to do a little too much, maybe get flashy, but with these players still getting a feel for each other in the flow, a lot to be said for making the simple play.
Nevertheless, a great honor. The shot by Jordan, no good. The West trails by 7. Johnson dishes to Malone. Oh, on display, the motor of Karl Malone. And if there was a snub, Clark, for this year's All-Star game, many felt it was the sharpshooter Dale Ellis of the Sonics.
Well, you take a look at what he's done. He's the only top 10 scorer in the NBA who was not an All-Star.
The Tennessee Volunteers should be here. There's 39 seconds left to play in the first. English against Wilkins. Malone trying to break free. English, no good.
Well, you will not see that from him very often, especially right at the rim.
Thomas kicks to Jordan. Malone, a screen on Lever. Jordan. The East All-Stars tack on 2 more. And starting last season, Clark, Michael Jordan's scoring went through the roof.
Averaging over 37 points per game, partner, and he's kept close to that pace this season as well. Remarkable.
Amazing and remarkable, right? Wow. And so it's the East All-Stars in control with a 9-point lead to end the quarter. Their lead is where it is because they've gotten good shots. A lot of good shots. We'll get right back to the action when we return. Welcome back, everyone, to the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. As these great fans hope Michael Jordan can bring home the win and the MVP hardware.
And the head coach of the East, Mike Fratello, his first time coaching in the All-Star Game.
On the floor for the West All-Stars, Abdul-Jabbar is out there with Worthy. Then it's Johnson. Then it's McDaniel. And it's Drexler in at the shooting guard. It's stolen by Wilkins. Drexler against Jordan. He dishes it to Wilkins. Back to Jordan. Shoots a fader. Good for another bucket. He's made half a dozen now. 6 for 8 on the night. How about that? Mike's a terrific friend of yours and mine, and Fratello's Hawks recently moved into first place in the East after the Cavs beat the Celtics. Clark enabling him to become the coach of the East All-Stars.
So don't be surprised if the Cavs' Brad Daugherty gets extended minutes in his first All-Star appearance. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
And Kareem looking to set the career record for All-Star scoring. Isn't that something?
It really is. Needs just 10 points to do it, Kevin, and you gotta love his chances. I mean, that's a layup for him, pun intended.
Yeah, a good one.
Well, you know, stopping him is never easy to do, but the defense was strong there.
It falls for his 7th bucket of the contest. He's 7 for 9. And Michael Jordan, not only last season's leading scorer by a mile, but Clark Kellogg this season, he is in the running for the Defensive Player of the Year.
He is the true definition of a two-way player. Gets it done at a high level at both ends.
No good with the layup. The East leading by 13. Here's the 3. The rebound by Johnson. And here early, Clark, the East has the edge.
You look at that team on the East squad, an embarrassment of riches, Kevin. And, you know, they've got so many weapons. I think it simply comes down to execution for them.
Left side, Jordan. Here's Ewing. Back to Jordan. Over McDaniel. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. Jordan's got 6 in the quarter.
Jordan getting quickly into the shot. No hesitation. Supreme confidence shooting off the pass.
Johnson, the pass to Worthy. Here's Abdul-Jabbar. And Kareem, the elder statesman. 19 years in the NBA. Decades of dominance. And some changes here for the East. McHale's checked in for Daugherty. And Danny Ainge has subbed in for Wilkins. The West All-Stars also changing it up. Donaldson, he's checked in for Worthy. And Aguirre's subbed in for McDaniel. On the wing, Jordan. And it's good for 2. Jordan's got 18 points.
And Coach Mike Fratello, a colleague of ours, coaching in the All-Star game, standing tall amongst a bunch of tall guys in the NBA. You know, his dad was an amateur boxer, and, you know, I think that background gives Mike a lot of confidence as a coach.
Drexler passes to Abdul-Jabbar. Over McHale. Got that one, and the East All-Stars lead has been cut down to just 12 points with the basket from Abdul-Jabbar. And here's Jordan. He'll bring it up for the East All-Stars. And now let's go over to David Aldridge with a report on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Thank you, Kevin. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the oldest All-Star in history. This is his 17th game. No one else has been in more than 13. To put that into context, there were 6 players in yesterday's Legends game that were younger than Kareem. Magic Johnson says he respects Kareem more than anyone I know because of the pride this man has in whatever he does. Kevin, back to you.
He is a very proud individual. David, thank you. And Kareem's coming out here, Clark, after spending 2 days in bed with strep throat. I mean, it's remarkable.
And, Kevin, that's exactly the pride Magic was talking about, and that's why it seems like every game we do, Kareem is adding to some type of record that he's already established. Tonight, he could very well become the leading scorer in the history of the All-Star game.
Isn't that phenomenal? They call him captain for a reason. He is truly the leader of this entire NBA.
Yes, sir.
And he banks in the layup. Jordan's got 12 now in this quarter.
Jordan's got a lot of flash to his game. A terrific guard, loves getting tricky with his ball handling and creating shots for himself.
We've got 28 seconds left here in the second. Aguirre kicks to Johnson. Shoots over Ainge. Back to Aguirre. Drexler outside. Johnson outside. Three-pointer. And no good in the last second attempt. This time, Michael Jordan getting it done for the East All-Stars. And of everything he's doing well, it's his scoring that you point to first. Already 22 points in this game. Back to the action in just a minute. And we welcome you back to the second half of the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. Great performances from these players, whether it's their first time participating or their 17th. And the foul called on Michael Jordan. That is his first foul of the game.
First personal foul. First team foul.
The West trails by 16.
You know, you get into the latter stages of the game, and it's normal to wonder who will take home the MVP trophy. It's certainly one of those accolades that's mentioned when you talk about the great ones.
They've got Malone. Thomas is out there with Jordan. Then there's Bird. That's Wilkins in at the 3. That's the 5 out there for the East All-Stars. Lever kicks to Malone. Baseline J on the way, and Olajuwon gets it to go on the assist by Malone. And of the players in tonight's All-Star Game, Clark, 2 have won MVP trophies in this game before. Larry Bird and Isaiah Thomas.
And how about this, Kevin? Thomas has won 2 out of the last 4 years. If he was to get 3 MVPs, that would put him in some rarefied air, tying with Oscar Robertson for second most. Bob Pettit is the only player to do it 4 times.
And Clark, a slow start for Michael Jordan is beginning now to get some momentum and heating up.
And the fans starting to take notice. They're feeling it a little bit, making some noise. They're certainly hoping he can make it happen.
He gets that one.
Moses Malone is not only a 6-time rebounding champ, but he's also a 10-time All-Star. He gives the Washington Bullets some real muscle inside.
Thomas against Lever. And the foul called on Michael Jordan. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Second personal foul. Second team foul.
Third quarter of play with just over a minute and a half gone by. Johnson with it. He's picked up by Jordan. And the clock not in Kareem's favor as far as setting this record clock.
And he's not even on the floor. The West has to at least give him that chance.
And Larry Bird winning 3 straight MVP awards from 1983 to 1986.
You know who the last player was to do that?
I know I'm going back to the 60s something. You tell me.
Yeah,
I know you
Bill
know.
Russell.
Yeah, right.
It's Bill Russell, 1960 to 63.
Of course. I'm glad we bring him up. A legend.
Yep.
The East leading by 22. Jordan drives in. Lever with the steal. They need to find a high percentage shot, Clark, to regain some of that confidence.
I think they've gone too long without seeing one go down, and that begins to mess with your psyche.
Here's Olajuwon. The West again cannot hit. And the East with the lead.
Living up to that favored and top billing and giving these fans quite a show.
Here's Jordan. And the layup's good off the glass. Jordan's got 28.
And they have not let up. They are still in attack mode despite their sizable lead.
Oh, glad we got a chance to check out that fantastic drive one more time. English dishes to Malone.
2 minutes remaining in the third. 2 minutes.
He kicks it to Johnson. Back to Malone. Looking to end the run. And it's blocked by Jordan.
With defensive prowess and nearly a 7-foot wingspan, it's a lot harder to get a clean look on Jordan than most guys. And perhaps the coach lit a fire under him at halftime because they have owned this third quarter.
Big group substitution here for the East. Brad Doherty is checked in for Malone. Ewing comes in for Larry Bird. Ainge is checked in for Wilkins. And it's Rivers in for Isaiah Thomas. So an almost entirely new group now for the West. Abdul-Jabbar is checked in for Olajuwon. Worthy comes in for Malone. McDaniels checked in for English. And it's Drexler in for Magic Johnson. On Kareem running low on time to set that scoring record, Clark.
Kevin, there's still enough time left in my mind for him to do it. I would love to see it happen. No guarantees that he gets back to this game next year.
Lever, the pass to Abdul-Jabbar. The pass to Drexler. Here's McDaniel. 6 on the shot clock. Lever finds Abdul-Jabbar. And Ewing sends it back.
Good read that time from Ewing defensively, showing that he can be impactful at that end of the floor, too.
Let's take a second look at that fantastic block.
Superb anticipation on that rejection, and that'll allow them to stay on the lead if they keep defending like that.
And here's the East. They've got a 13-2 run going.
And, you know, most of these guys are accustomed to having their team's offense built around them. It's an adjustment for them now to figure out who's going to get the rock most of the time.
Jordan, high post. 1:04 left in the third quarter. The second chance effort, and he nails the jumper. Jordan's got 11 points here in just the second half.
An effective score from the in-between area of the court. Jordan doing his thing.
To the left side wing. Worthy feeling it out a bit. Some nice passing here by the West. There's the lob to the hoop. Stolen by Ewing. Jordan is double. Here's Rivers. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Jordan. Jordan's got assist number 5 here tonight.
A native Chicagoan, Glenn Doc Rivers, a first-time All-Star. He said 5 years ago he sat in the same hotel and cried because he wasn't drafted in the first round. Now, same setting, but the script has been flipped. It all comes full circle for Doc.
Jordan with it. 33 points for him. The kick out to Ainge. The East All-Stars check on 2 more.
And Ainge this season has hit a three-pointer in 23 consecutive games. That's an NBA record, and that is his game, making threes.
And at the end of the third quarter, a huge lead in this one may already have been decided. East All-Stars ahead as they end the third quarter with an energy burst, a 19-4 run. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. Welcome back to Chicago for the 1988 All-Star Game. The grand finale of what's been a tremendous weekend to celebrate the NBA.
You take a look at the landscape of the NBA, and I tell you what, that Central Division, dominant. How about this? 36 games above 500 combined.
On the court for the West All-Stars, getting the fourth quarter going. They've got Drexler, Worthy out there with Aguirre. Then it's Magic Johnson, and it's Donaldson in at the center position. On the wing, Worthy. Pass to Donaldson. To the wing on the left. Shoots from 12, and it's in there. Hey, you look at that Central Division, all 6 teams on pace to make the playoffs.
And, you know, Chicago got off to that great start, Kevin. Then they cooled off just a bit. Now tied with Detroit at 3 games behind Atlanta. Those teams are...
Oh, Clark!
Oh, my goodness! Are you kidding me? Woo-hoo! Woo!
Down the stretch here, the East, Clark out in front.
Getting it done. It's been such a fun game to watch. Entertaining from both sides.
Woo, it sure has been. Drexler kicks it over to Worthy. Johnson outside. Drexler inside. Ainge covering. Johnson wide open. He fires.
Foul. James Donaldson. First personal foul.
It's been a one-sided affair for sure.
It is obvious and clear who the better team is.
And here's Jordan outside. Offensive rebound. Cheeks outside. Passes to Jordan. And we've made our way through just over a minute and a half in this fourth quarter. With the fadeaway. That one goes. Count it. Jordan's got 39.
Another big night for Jordan. What a natural scorer he is. MJ simply can do it all. And after the Central Division, the Midwest has been the second most competitive division. Those teams are sitting at 10 games over 500.
And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. It's going to go on Clyde Drexler.
Michael Jordan using that strength of his to get into the defense to draw the foul on the way up.
And Clark in the Midwest, those Rockets are really making a push.
And they're doing it behind Hakeem Olajuwon. To me, he's the best center in the NBA. They certainly got a chance to give the Lakers a run for their money.
Oh, yeah. Catching up on the changes for the East. Moses Malone. He's checked in for Doherty. And Larry Bird sub for Danny Ainge. Looking to keep it rolling.
Stay on the attack and keep playing the right way.
Here's Bird. From 13 feet, it goes down.
How about this list? Players who have never missed an All-Star game in their careers. Jerry West, Bob Pettit, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Those last 3 playing here tonight.
Drexler against Cheeks. Now here's Drexler. He's covered closely. Johnson up top, defended by Jordan.
Well, I cannot believe he didn't capitalize there, and neither can he.
And it's a new single-game record in scoring for the All-Star game, set right in front of us by Michael Jordan.
What an incredible athlete, Kevin, and it seems whatever he sets his mind to do, he can do it. Impressive.
Pick by Drexler. Aguirre against Bird. They need this one. Worthy trying to break free. Oh, good on that one. Bird with some nice D. And so Bird will bring it up for the East. A great fourth quarter, just giving up 2 points.
This is what Bird can do when he feels the defense over-committing to him. Has the control to pull up on a dime and pop it home. One of the toughest shots in the game.
Drexler scanning the floor. Spins over Cheeks. Drexler, no good.
Well, you've got to be there defensively. I mean, that's an easy mid-range jumper that he'll typically drain.
Bird against Drexler. Malone, a screen on Drexler. Bird. The East All-Stars check on 2 more.
They have shown up at just the right time, putting the finishing touches on this game.
Cheeks against Drexler. To the paint. Here's Worthy. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
McHale.
It goes on Kevin McHale.
Boy, the poise that Worthy brings to his game, I mean, it's impressive. He keeps his cool even in tough situations, and he always seems to allow the game to come to him.
Catching up on the changes for the East. Ewing comes in for Moses Malone. And Danny Ainge is subbed in for Larry Bird. The West All-Stars also changing it up. Abdul-Jabbar's checked in for Donaldson. McDaniel comes in for Drexler. And Levers subbed in for Johnson. And Kareem will need to get it going, Clark, to reach double digits.
I think his teammates have to do a better job of getting him touches. Just keep feeding him. He's more than capable of getting there.
Well, Clark, there was some question whether James Worthy would actually play in this All-Star game.
Yeah, he's dealing with some tendonitis in his knee, and because of that, I think his minutes very well could be limited.
Yeah, he's got to pay attention to the big picture, doesn't he?
Yep.
Here's Cheeks. And the Eastern All-Stars deliver. The favorites coming in. Clark, they did not disappoint.
Yeah, you looked at that team on paper, and you saw they were the stronger team and should have been favored. But you still got to go out and prove it, and they did exactly that.
And so much scoring in that lineup for the East. My goodness, look at those names. That's always going to be tough to stop.
And you factor in the raucous crowd cheering on Michael Jordan, Kevin. No wonder they found that extra gear they needed when it was time to get it done.
That's a good point. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching. We'll see you next time.